All right, everyone, I got a story to tell. I've actually got two stories to tell today. I had a rough week last week, a bad week, and I know some of you all out there have bad weeks as well, because from time to time I get these messages on Instagram, on Twitter, on the social media networks. I have fans reaching out, subscribers reaching out, sharing their personal stories with me, and I am so grateful for that because I love the interaction, the engagement of this community. This is the great community, an amazing community for dividend growth investors, and we are all here to support each other. And so I heard the word no. No. I hear no all the time out there last week, and I'm sure some of you have experienced this as well. For example, you're at your job, you want to work on a certain project, or you want to do a certain work on something a certain way. Maybe your boss or your coworker says, no, you can't do that. Or maybe you want to pursue some new challenge at work, or get promoted, for example, and the boss says, hey, not time, no. We all hear no so much, and the purpose of today's video actually is to be real about this, because I want all of you out there to realize that I go through this just like you do. And also I want to share why dividend stocks are the answer. Dividends are the yes. They are the yes out there in a world oftentimes that has so much no. I'm just not going to sugarcoat it. We're not in an easy world. Like, there's so much wonderful. We're all so blessed. But at the same time, there are challenges. It's not easy, and we all hear no so much. And honestly, maybe it's because we hear no so much that when we achieve success, we have a massive amount of dividend income rolling in, that the yes is so exciting. So anyways, I want to just start with two stories. Man, I'll give you the first one. So being a parent, if you're a parent out there, raise your hand, leave comments in the comments section below. It's not always easy being a parent. And it's funny, I used to think, oh, my job is really challenging. My job is so hard. When you become a parent, you realize that actually taking care of children and all the dynamics, not just with the children, but with the community, like when you're like at the park, I'm going to give an example, or at school, all of these things become challenges that sometimes, quite frankly, are more difficult than one would have ever imagined. They're actually more difficult oftentimes than one's job, a professional career. And it's really interesting that being a parent, it is such a rewarding journey. It's also a challenging journey sometimes, and you have to learn so much along the way. Anyways, at my son's school last week, one of the nights they had kind of a parent night where the parents get together and actually work together to build some toys for the children in the school. And I was on a team. We were working on a project, and I was not the leader on this team. I was a part of a team with someone else who had the idea. I thought it was a good idea, and I actually had spent some time working with this individual before, so I thought it would be a lot of fun. Anyways, he kind of delegated work across all of the team members, and what ended up happening is very interesting. Is I spent an hour and a half building my part of the project, working on my part of the project. And mind you, I am a Stanford University educated engineer, Stanford University computer science degree, so I'm kind of good with engineering stuff. I'm also really crafty. I'm good with home projects, and so I took a lot of pride. I did a good job building my portion of the project. Anyways, we get towards the end of the project, and the team leader, it's interesting, he kind of disappears. He's off somewhere, I don't know, so we're all just continue to work. And what happens is he comes back, and at the 11th hour, right before the project was due, he takes the component of the project that I had built, takes it out, puts it to the side, and comes with a new one. He went off. What he was doing when he was in the corner, we couldn't see what he was doing, is he rebuilt what I had built and swapped it in. And so basically I spent an hour and a half working for nothing, doing nothing. And basically what his actions had told me is, hey, Ian, no, what you built is not good enough. No, I don't want you to be part of this team. Or no, this is my project, not your project, and I'm going to do it my way. And so this actually was really bothersome to me. My time is so limited, and you guys know this. I mean, I'm filming in my car right now. This is one of the rare breaks that I get throughout the day. I would love to be posting on YouTube every day, but I don't have the time. I do what I can, and so to waste 1.5 hours of my time working on something to have it thrown away and then kind of deceptively swap something else in its place. Hey, if he didn't like what I was doing, I would rather have him come to me and say, Ian, I think there's a better way to engineer this, or I want you to try to do it a different way. I realized I wasn't the team leader on this project, so to have him maybe critique my work or say, hey, redo it, I would have been very open to that. I would have even stayed late, an extra half hour, whatever it takes to get it done to the team's specification. But to have it kind of backhanded, like, hey, we're just going to completely say, no, we don't want you working on it. No, what you did is not the right thing. That's just one way I heard no the other week, last week, and it's just kind of set the tone for my week. I had a bunch of no's last week, and it's just not a lot of fun. I'll give you one, though, other story, again, raising kids related. I'll tell you, this stuff is sometimes more challenging than a career, and it's actually very interesting, though. You just learn so much. But anyways, this one was not like the last example. This one really upset me, and I'm glad I handled it. I kept my temper down. I did not escalate the situation, and so I'm really proud of myself how I handled this. But anyways, we were at the park. We're at the park. My son is playing very nicely. I am one of these helicopter parents, so I watch everything that's going on. I know what's going on. I'm keeping my eyes, and I'm very protective. And so, anyways, I see my son. There's one slide there that's really tall, really tall. And so he's at the top of the slide. He's sits on it, and then he... before he goes down, I see this kid behind him kind of kicking at him. Bothered me a little bit. But anyways, I let it go. He came down. Everything's all good. Later, he went up the same slide. And this time, again, it's really high up there, so I can't just like reach up and grab him or anything. I mean, this is a very tall slide. But I'm close to it. I'm at the bottom of it. I'm watching. I'm like, hey, buddy, come on down. What happened is he had walked up. He was on the edge of the slide, and he was in the process of sitting down. And before he could even sit down, this same boy comes up behind him and pushes him from kind of like his shoulders. And so he comes kind of head first, falling down in midair. And this was very scary because, like I said, this is a tall slide. And what if he had not landed on the slide? What if he just fell all the way down or hit his head? Thankfully, by the grace of God, he somehow got caught in the slide and made it down. He made it down to the bottom and he was okay. But boy, was I upset at what that boy did. It was just so tricky and so wrong just to push someone like that before they've even sat down. It's very dangerous. Someone could get very hurt, especially these little kids. They're really small. Anyways, when that happened, I got upset and I grabbed my son and I'm like, look, we're going to find this kid's parents, and we're going to have a discussion about this. Talk to his parents. Look, we live in kind of a smaller city, smaller town within the Bay Area. Everyone knows everyone, so you don't want to do something that will set a bad tone for the rest of your life, because you're going to run into these people again. And so I was actually very even-tempered with this guy, again, very proud of myself. And what had happened is he basically was just defending his son. At one point, the wife came over and said, look, the boys said the reason that they push your son is because he cut them. One, my son did not cut them, but two, even if he did cut them, does that give you license to push someone down a slide? No, that's nuts. Anyways, what the guy said is all these things. He is like, hey, this here is only for kids that are like 5 and up. Did you see the sign? And it's like, no one looks at those signs. And there are kids playing on that structure that were half my son's age. And so my son is not 5 yet, but he surely is of age, of capacity to play on that area. He's able to climb up everything and play appropriately in that area. But what he said is basically, this is pretty normal behavior, the way those kids were playing for 5-year-olds. And again, I understand maybe 5, 6, 7-year-olds may play a little rougher, especially with their friends and family that they know very closely. But to push a stranger down a slide kind of head first, that doesn't seem like normal behavior. And anyways, at the end of this, what I realized is, again, this guy's telling me no. He's telling my son no. His son is telling my son no. No, we don't want you here. We don't want you at this park. We don't want you playing here. Go home. Go somewhere else. No, we don't want you here, and we're going to push you. We're going to bully you out of here. And so it's funny too, because at this park, my family and my wife's family in conjunction, my wife and I and my wife's parents, basically, we have donated money to this park. We have purchased a bench at this park. And so it's very insulting. It's like, I doubt that this guy has donated anything to make this park better, and comes in acting like he owns the place. But anyways, this is what we all run into. This is not isolated to me. Anyways, I just basically listened to the guy, what he said, and I said, look, maybe you could talk with your son and your kids about the way they're playing, because it was very scary what had happened. That's how I kind of resolved it. And I'm like, look, someone could have gotten very hurt, aka my son. I was very concerned, very scared that the way he was pushed down the slide, he could have got hurt. The guy never apologized, but he basically said, hey, I'm going to talk to my boy about it. Yeah, right. He'd probably do nothing. But the end of the day, this is life. This is life. This last week is funny because these obstacles were kind of kid related, and you know, they're in their sphere, like their life related. But sometimes I hear the word no, and it's elsewhere. Maybe it is at work. Maybe it's with something else. We all live in a world where no. It always coming through no, and the difference between, I would say, a very successful person and a less successful person is successful people find ways to get to yes, despite the adversity, despite the challenges. We all face it. One, they don't let the challenges get the better of them. And look, I actually did let these bother me for a few days. It was only today when I went on my run that I could really let this go, especially what that boy and his dad did to my son. That was really bothering me, and I let it go after running about 7-8 miles today. But we all face this stuff. And so the difference, I would say, between someone who's less successful and more successful is finding ways to get to yes. Finding the yes. And in my opinion, dividend stocks are a big yes. When people are coming at you, maybe you had a bad day at work. I've gotten these messages from my subscribers. Keep in the back of your mind, you are always a dividend investor. When you invest in a dividend stock, the cash flow starts coming through. That is a yes moment right away. No one's going to take that from you. Surely there are companies that cut dividends. Surely there are companies that don't do as well. But if one is wise about picking world-class companies like I do, I've got 40 of them, and diversifying as well. I'm not talking about, like, look, if you've got a portfolio out there with companies like L Brands and New L Brands and these kind of things, I'm sorry. Hopefully it's that, though, those are just the tip of the iceberg, and there's other companies in there that are more stable. But there's companies like that, like L Brands, where if that is the bedrock of one's portfolio, I don't think that's going to be a yes portfolio. But if you've got a portfolio with stocks the kind like I own, Johnson & Johnson, Pepsi, Clorox, Home Depot, for example, those companies, owning those type of companies, diversified, in my opinion, will get someone to yes. And the yes meaning a growing stream of dividends over time, a stream of dividends that is not going to be interrupted, a stream of dividends that when someone comes to you or me and says no, in the back of our minds we know, I don't care what you say because I'm already at yes. I'm already at the path to yes because I'm a dividend investor. I have cash flow coming in, and you can tell me, no, don't come to the park. No, I'm not going to use your part of the project, all you want. But you know at the end of the day that all of that is inconsequential. As you're in the bigger picture, you're thinking about that, yes. And so in many respects, dividend investing has become my source of inspiration, one of my sources of inspiration in life. It's been very motivating, very positive for me, and it is something that I can count on, that is in my back pocket. It's my secret weapon, if you will. It's something that I have, that I know about. I don't share with everyone. Everyone here on YouTube I do, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But not everyone I even talk about my dividends with. These people who said no to me last week, they don't know that I invest in dividends, but I've got that secret confidence. I've got that secret weapon because that is part of my strategy, my positivity, my path that I am so focused on. And so that's one message that I really want to share with all of you out there, because I know that life throws its curveballs. I face these curveballs. It is really frustrating sometimes. And I know you guys face it. You face it all the time because I hear about this all the time. But what I want to tell you is to hang in there and to allow the yeses in life to overwhelm the no's. And in fact, my big yes, one of my big yeses is dividend stocks. I think it can be for everyone here in the PPCEN community. We are 24,000 dividend investors strong. And what I want to say as well is it's not only about the dividend stocks, it is actually about this community. I want to read a quick quote here. This is, I had to edit this to remove one profanity from it, but this is from Jay-Z, one of my favorite rappers. There's a song, Feeling It. He said basically, if every person in your clique is rich, your clique is rugged. Nobody will fall because everyone will be each other's crutches. And this is what I want this community to be, PPCEN community here on YouTube, is look, you're getting a lot of no's out there. You're getting a lot of BS coming your way. Come here to this community. We are now 24,000 strong. We're supporting each other. We're each other's crutches on this journey to financial freedom. And whether you hit full financial freedom or even partial financial freedom, dividend investing, in my opinion, it is always a resounding yes. It is yes all day long. And it is a growing stream of dividends. And at a certain point, when you're in it as long as I have been, that stream becomes really meaningful. I have not been tapping into my dividends to pay for stuff yet, but I could. But I want it to grow bigger. That's why I'm reinvesting it. But it is such a resounding yes, and it gives me that perspective in life. Anyways, I'll also tell you guys there is so much power to exercising and taking time just to exercise, to go running, whatever it is for you. It was when I finally did my run today that I was able to let some of these no's just out of the way. And so anyways, just wanted to share those real life stories with you guys. And before I go today, in terms of a full disclosure, I am long on the stocks that I mentioned, not New L brands or L brands. Sorry, guys. The ones I own are Johnson & Johnson, PepsiCo, Clorox, and Home Depot, tickers J&J, PEP, CLX, and HD. I own all of those in my personal dividend stock portfolio. You want to learn more about my portfolio, just check out my videos. I've done videos on most of these stocks, and a link in the description below. I have shared my entire dividend stock portfolio with you all, so you could check that out as well, see all of the stocks I own. In terms of a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed investment advisor. Today's video is not investment advice. It's literally just for your fun and entertainment. If you're going to go out and invest money in the stock market or anywhere else, please consult a licensed financial advisor first. Literally just sharing my journey here on YouTube for fun and entertainment. Please share in the comments below. Have you faced no? Like, have you gotten a lot of no's coming your way? A lot of challenges, roadblocks? Share with the community. Let the community be your crutches here, just like Jay-Z says. In my opinion, I'm a firm believer that this is a community where we are on the right path here towards becoming rich, towards becoming wealthy, because we're talking about dividend stocks, and there's just so much positivity, so much power to dividend stocks, to the cash flow coming in. Look, I'll give you another one. Full disclosure, I own Altria, ticker symbol MO. I'm yielding 20% on cost, doesn't even count reinvested dividends. Literally, for every $1,000 I invested in Altria in my initial tranche, I'm yielding $200 a year just in cash flow. Doesn't even count my enormous capital appreciation I have received. I've been blessed with the power of dividend investing. And that happened actually in a relatively short amount of time, and that is the power of dividend investing. All right, everyone. Done with my rant for today. I will see you all in the next dividend investing video.